Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Baby Brigade. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night. Yes, I'm late. I had to finish that cardigan. It was driving me crazy. I just wanted to get her done. Just one of those things, I get one-track mind and I have to get stuff done. But tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of a different video with y'all. I'm going to quickly jump in here and pop a clip in about and show y'all the cardigan finished and hanging on the door. I have a little door hanger thingy on this back door, and I have the cardigan hanging up back there, and I recorded a little clip because sometimes when I insert pictures it floats around on the screen and doesn't give you a really good view. Plus in the clip I sort of explain the process and everything with you, so I'm going to insert that here real quick. And then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do tonight. Here we go. Alright y'all, here is a little clip of the completed purple cardigan. Y'all can see, I just did my regular half doubles for the collar. And then I did my front post, back post for the lapels in the bottom here. And then I got, this is how the sleeves ended up. But I ended up going back and doing a 5th round row on each side. So there's 17 rounds on the hexie, the individual hexies for each side, and 5 additional rows after seaming up the shoulders. And then I believe this is 3 rounds here on the front post, back post, on the lapels. I think that's 3. 4 if you include the first row of double crochets. And then this is 6 rows of front post, back post on the sleeves, on sleeve cuffs. So yeah, there's that. But I only used 2 of the big cakes that she sent, and then I used a skein of my own yarn of the I Love This yarn in the amethyst color. So I'm hoping she's very happy. I will email her a picture. But I wanted to insert this little clip for y'all, since the rest of the video will be about something else. Alright then, so now you've seen that. So hopefully Shelly's very happy with it. I'm happy with it. I think it turned out wonderful. Anyway, so last week I was very generously gifted a new set of these small gauge looms. These are, oh I know, I saw it on here. Oh. Now, come on now. I know it's smaller gauge. I was trying to find the actual gauge. I think it's 3/8 gauge. Yeah, I think this is the 3/8 gauge, 3/8 of an inch gauge. And it has a 80 peg loom, a 72 peg loom, and a 64 peg loom. So, so I'm going to use the 80 peg loom for tonight's project that I'm going to show y'all a little bit about my process in using one of these. Now these are different. Oh gosh, I got it buried down back here. Hold on. These are quite different than these. Okay, this is the, I don't know how many inch gauge this is. I just know it's a large gauge loom. But you see the huge gap here. This takes, in order to make a regular size hat with this, you need 2 strands of 4-weight yarn, 1 strand of 5, 1 strand of 6. I've never used 7-weight yarn with this unless it was super soft. I wouldn't even try it. But I got this off of Amazon. I forget what they called it, but I got a set of 4 for under $20, so it's not bad. These are not removable pegs. And this is what right here, this little thing that stands out here, this is called an anchor peg. This is where you would put your slip knot on, and at least for the first couple of rounds, so that everything stays stable. And that this particular loom has an anchor peg, okay, which is good if you're a beginner. It's good to have an anchor peg, okay. This loom, if you look, does not have an anchor peg, okay. I don't think that these looms were meant exactly for beginners, okay, which is fine. I mean, it probably says beginners, but I don't know. I digress. It may not be. But for me, now when I do hats, a lot of times I do a ribbed brim first, especially if it's going to be a beanie style. I will do the brim first, because as you work, you're working bottom up, essentially. When you do a hat on a loom, you're working from the bottom up. So whatever you do, your first stitches will be what's at the brim of the hat. At the brim of the hat. So in order, and what I do is a knit one, purl one brim, okay? And what are you doing? Stop licking the floor. Sorry, dog. That needs to be talked to like a toddler. But in seeing as I don't have an anchor peg, I looked for this particular brand is called KB Looms. And so I looked for their brand, which they usually stamp on the bottom of their looms, and I just looked for that, and then I took my Sharpie and marked right there to let me know that's the beginning of where I started, so that as I'm coming around, I know that that's where I started. That's important to know where you started. It's just helpful. And then I marked every other peg, and I did, this has been sitting over here drying, because you don't want to try to use it right after you marked it up, because you don't want that black to get on your yarn. So you want to let it sit for an hour or so and let it dry. I went and marked every other peg. This lets me know if I'm on, because the peg without a mark is going to be my regular knit peg. This will be my purl. This will be my knit. This will be my purl, and so forth and so on. So that lets me know where I'm at in my stitches, should I have to put it down and go do something, and then I come back, excuse me, I'll know where I'm at. So that's why I do that, because I'm all the time interrupted by something. So it's better for me to have a way of picking it back up and saying, oh, this is where I'm at. So especially because these take a lot longer to make a hat on one of these than it does one of these. It does. It just takes longer. So I did get some, and that one just dropped to the floor. I did pull some yarn out. This is some clearance yarn. I love this yarn. This color is called Mint Tea. Beautiful green. So this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to pull it over here to me. And I'm going to lower this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to back up. Let's see if it'll let me. I don't know how to zoom this way. I'll just move this bit closer and try to do it like this. See where, there we go. Okay, here we go. And here is, this is the pick. So I call it a pick. Some people call it a hook. I call it a pick. But essentially, you will just do your regular slip knot. That's how I do mine. I'm going to put it around this first knit peg, because you're going to cast on first before you start doing anything else. So because we don't have an anchor peg, we're just going to put that slip knot there and just leave that, like so. And I'm just going to do what's known as an E-wrap cast on. So I'm just going to hold this like this and go like this and just wrap all my pegs like so. And I use my other hand to kind of hold and push down the yarn just a little bit. And just go around them. And yes, I do kind of go fast, because this is 80 pegs, and I don't want to make this an hour-long video just showing you how to do this. I know some of you have been interested in how to go about doing this, and I figured this lets, you know, the gifter know that I am going to be using these looms, and what better time to do it than now that I have just finished that cardigan. And I got to pick Will's blanket up. I'm going to work on Will's blanket over the weekend before I start that next cardigan. I got many projects in my brain, but his blanket has been severely neglected. So that's got to be my priority now. I got about 11 days, 10 days or so. Yeah, 10 days left in the month, and I really need to get to cracking on his blanket. So we're just, and this is what's known as the E-wrap. So if you ever do a tutorial, a loom knit tutorial, and they say E-wrap, that's what this is, because you're essentially doing it in a E formation. So this is an E-wrap cast on that I'm doing here. So if you ever run across a loom knit tutorial and they mention the word E-wrap, that's exactly what we're doing. And now we're back to our starting peg here. You'll see this little mark if you mark yours up. And then I got to do this again. So we're going to go all the way back around, because we need two loops on each peg so that we can knit off one and start what we're going to do. You got to cast on before you can do your ribbing and your overall hat. And you can also do panels on here, like I'm doing on the sock loom. You can do flat panels. You just don't go, you just instead of going completely around, you would just go back the other direction and leave a peg untouched, like I'm doing on the sock loom. I'll go over that with y'all again in the next video. I'll show y'all what I'm doing a little closer. I'll go over a row or two with y'all and show you what I mean. But it's doable on this as well. Like if I wanted to make, say I wanted to make several panels, knitted panels, to make, you know, to say I was going to do a knitted sweater and I wanted to do the panels on this big loom, I could do that. I'd have a lot of seams to seam together, but I could do it. It'd be a lot of time consuming, but it's doable. It's totally doable. And this is like a thinner 4-weight yarn, but I could probably safely use a 3-weight yarn on here. And I am using both hands. I'm using that left hand to hold the loops in place as I do them. All right, so now we got, as you can see, we have 2 loops on each peg, okay? And I'm gonna grab my pick. I don't know how much y'all can see because I'm bad about not being on camera or being in frame. But this is what we're left with after we've gone around. Let me make sure where I'm at here. Okay, I'm right there. All right, so we're gonna take this bottom loop and we're gonna scoop this. Well, I say that. Let me grab this. Yep. See, that's what happens if you hold it a little tight. Sometimes it can pop right back off on you. All right, so I'm gonna hold this a little bit here with this hand, and I'm gonna grab this loop down here. Hopefully, if I haven't done it too tight, and I might have, trying to get it done. Why is that not? For some reason, I'm having trouble here. Wow, why is that doing that? I don't know if it's the yarn or it's me. Is there a, oh, well, might help if there wasn't a plastic thing at the bottom of it. Where am I at? I'm here, okay. Yeah, there was a little plastic tip at the bottom of that hook and I didn't see it. It was clear and I couldn't see that there was a plastic protective thing on there. All right. Well, and I missed it. I missed this one. Okay. When it popped off, I missed that one. Okay, no big deal. Fixed. All right. And so now we're going to very gently pull that one that restarted with. That's our starting one right there. Now we're just going to go around it and pull each of them up and over, if y'all can see that, up and over. Okay, going to try to pick up a little speed so I can get back and show y'all the rest of what I'm planning on doing. Now that I got that little plastic tip off that I didn't know was on there, was keeping that thing from picking up the yarn. I'm like, what in the heck have I done wrong? Then I realized that there was a little protective tip on it. Oh, well, that might be the problem there, Amanda. Dodo. It's a brand new pick, that's why. And it is helpful just to kind of push the yarn back down with your other finger as you're doing that, because you're going to come back through and do your knit and purl, and you'll just knit and purl for as many rows and make that brim as long as, you know, as wide as you want it. And when you feel like you've gotten it as long as you want, then you just switch back to do an E-wrap knit and go back to doing this here, what I'm starting with. But this is basically the E-wrap cast on. You'll hear that language. Oh goodness, and I am so not in frame. Sorry about that. I'm sure y'all be letting me know in the comments. Girl, you wasn't in frame half the time. Yeah, I know. This is why I don't do tutorials. Because I'm not real good at it. But hopefully I'm explaining it verbally enough that y'all can grasp the concept. Let's see if I can get this. Maybe if I uncross my legs and get it in closer to me. Yeah, maybe like that. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. I'm not sitting at a very comfortable angle here, but maybe y'all can see a little bit better. But when you get done with the brim part, this is what you'll do, is you'll just E-wrap and knit off, E-wrap and knit off until, you know, until you get the length of your hat. And if y'all have ever made a hat where you gathered the top, why did that do that? Okay. Gathered the top in like a drawstring situation. I've got a, what was that? I think that was a moth that flew up. But I think I've got a tutorial on my main channel page under tutorials that is more in depth with the hat business. And I think I probably show the gathering of the hat off the loom. And there's many other tutorials, and I'm steadily going off frame. Sorry, y'all. But I don't remember if I show a purl stitch on any of the other tutorials. So I'm going to demonstrate that here in a minute. And it's not terribly difficult, it's just repetitive. See, here we go. Alright, so we did say that these that the blank ones are going to be our knitted, these are going to be our knit stitches, these are going to be our purls. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap this one, we're going to wrap that one, and then just knit that off like so. And then for a purl, we come in under this stitch here. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing here. We're going to put our pick here, pull this up, grab this yarn, and pull it up like so, okay? You pull up a loop like that, you grab your yarn in this hand, you pull it up over the peg, you put that new loop back on it, and then you snug it down, okay? And then you go to the next one, and you wrap it, and you knit it off. Just like so. You go to the next one, you go put your yarn under here, go right here, you grab it, pull yourself up a loop, grab the loop in one between your finger and thumb here, your working yarn here, you put it back on the peg there, snug it down, and then wrap the next peg. So that is how you do. And we're going to do that again. I'm going to go down here, scoop it up, grab it with this finger and that, pull it off, put that new loop down, snug it down, go to the next one, wrap it, and knit it off. So that is essentially how you do this brim. Is you're just going to knit and purl all the way around as many times as you need to get that brim, you know, as wide as you want. Now this is very tedious. You know, I'll be the first one to tell you that this particular kind of work is very tedious. And I'm going to zoom up. I think I've showed y'all enough for now. I'm just going to zoom up and move the camera back up and move it back and talk to y'all while I do this. I just wanted to kind of give y'all a bird's eye view. Well, I can let y'all see me work while y'all talk, while I talk, I guess. And just do it like this. But I just kind of wanted to give y'all a little instructional, not a terribly lot of instructional, because some of y'all already knew how to do all this. But I've been kind of asked a little bit about it, so I wanted to give a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a quick little tutorial about it. As Mama G Gear would say, unconventional tutorial. I like her. I like her. I like how unconventional and unusual she is. She marches to the beat of her own drum, and I like that. I'm kind of like that too. She marches to the beat of her own drum. She doesn't do anything by anyone else's standards but her own, and I respect that. So that is important to be that way. When you reach a certain age, you just kind of get over trying to live life for other people. You have to live life for yourself at some point, you know, with the exception of, you know, when you're a Christian, you do try to live, you know, by God's rules, you know, to a certain extent. You don't want to become radicalized, but, you know, there is a guidebook when you're a Christian. You know, try to put people like you want to be treated, and you know, so forth and so on. You know, and try to be loving toward people and not, you know, abrasive and cruel. You want to live life on your terms, but you don't want to hurt other people as a result of that. There's a way to do it without hurting other people or holding people to ridiculous standards that, you know, there is such a thing, you know, having high standards and then holding other people, trying to hold other people to these ridiculous standards that they couldn't possibly meet, and then being mad at them and then not explaining to them why you're mad. Well, really? You just assume that they know what they did? That's ridiculous. So ridiculous. But that's alright. You know, life goes on. Life goes on. Sometimes you just have to realize who's expendable in your life. Who can you live without? And sometimes you know, it hurts a little emotionally to find out who those people are. I'm sure we've all been there. But I don't even know who's going to get this hat. I just wanted to make one on here. It's been calling to me ever since I got them in the mail. This loom has been calling my name. But I just, I wanted to share it with y'all, you know, since, you know, one of y'all sent them to me. And it meant so much to get them after the other set got broke. Because when I made some on these before, these really look needle knitted because of their smaller gauge. These look needle knitted. They look like some, you know, that, you know, someone made with their knitting needles. They're so nice. The stitches are so tight and nice. You could tell I'm used to that larger gauge. I keep accidentally looping both pegs at the same time. But it is a bit time consuming, especially on this 80 pegs. I should have picked a smaller one to do the demonstration on, but that's okay. Y'all understand, right? Hopefully y'all got enough of it to understand what I was trying to get across to you. Oh wow, and this yarn is a little splitty. I'm splitting this yarn as I'm trying to do this. Maybe that's why it was clearance yarn. But this will probably be something I work a few rounds on and then put it aside, and work a few rounds on and put it aside. It'll take me a little while to get this hat done. But that's okay. It's not. It's just a hat. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's not. You know, it's not a commission type thing. Oh, and here it goes again, splitting. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not being rough with it. Maybe I'm too tight with it. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this hat comes out with it being a variegated yarn. Variegated yarns do very well with knit. They look very pretty knitted up. And I think somebody somewhere said I should get me a knitting machine. I don't know that I have the patience for a knitting machine. Eva, my bestie, has a knitting machine, and she's having a good time with her. She's got one for hats, and then she's got a smaller. Her husband bought her a smaller one too. She's got a couple of them now, little Centro machines, and she's having herself a good time with them. And I'm happy for her that she's having a good time. But I don't know that I mean, because they drop stitches, you know, if you have to watch them. You have to, you know, sure, they probably make things faster, but at the same time, there's so many elements you have to watch at the same time. But at least when you're hand making it like this, you're doing it manually, you know, you make less mistakes. You know, it's to me, it would be less mistakes made. But yeah, this is going to be a while. And it wants to twist every time I pull that loop up, it twists. And then I have to untwist that and put it back. You don't want them twisted. But the marking of I mean, of course that's completely optional. If you're a person that doesn't need reminding which peg is which that you're doing, you know, which peg is knit, which peg is purl. If you don't need that reminder, then of course you don't need to mark yours up, you know. Or if you have little rubber bands that you can put that are tiny enough to fit on there, you know, you can always put little rubber bands on every other peg and use that as your markers. But these are mine. These are not going to be used by anyone else. They're not going to leave my hands. You know, these will always be mine. So it, you know, completely my decision to mark them up. It works for me. You know, that other one, that pink one was marked up, but I've used it so much that the markers wore off. It needs to be remarked. I'm almost back to the beginning now. But 80 pegs, I should have picked a smaller one. I should have picked a smaller one. Probably one of the boys will snag this up. They both like green. Whenever it starts getting cold again. You might hear a panting dog behind the camera. That would be Theodore. Even though it's air conditioning in here, he's still panting for whatever reason. He just randomly does that. He ain't ran. He ain't exerted himself. He just starts panting. He's a very pampered dog. Anyway, that's got us one round of cast on and one round of started with the ribbing. So that gets me back to the start. But I did want to come on and show y'all that, and that I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna work on this for a little while, and then I'm gonna pick up Will's blanket and work on it. I'm gonna work on Will's blanket through the weekend now that I got that cardigan done. I'm gonna try to work on Will's blanket the next week before I start the next cardigan. So the next cardigan is for Eva's granddaughter that drew me a phoenix. I'm planning on at some point getting a phoenix tattoo, and so she drew me a phoenix, and I'm probably going to use that drawing that she drew me for my tattoo. So because I really like her drawing a lot. I like her drawing a lot. And I don't know where I'll get the tattoo at yet. I'm really thinking about covering this one up. This is an upside down dragon head. Don't ask me why I did that. I just did it because I'm a smart aleck. But this is an upside down dragon head. And so I'm thinking about putting the phoenix right here. So I don't know yet. Maybe I might pick a different spot and just leave this alone. But these are the boys' initials. This was my very first tattoo, the boys' initials. WEC and JTC. Yeah. So yeah, that was my very first one. But yeah, that's an upside down dragon head that I got in, oh Lord, 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010. Yep. So, yep. But that's about all I got for y'all tonight. Let me move this back. I just want to, come on and visit with y'all and show y'all a little loom knitting and show you the clip of the latest cardigan, and hopefully y'all don't mind that light because I can't see to do stuff without that light. I need light. But I love y'all, and so does Jesus, and please remember to adopt, don't shop. Your best friend could be waiting for you at the shelter or the rescue, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.